I want to thank all of you for checking out the gig log that I posted this weekend. It was from the college formal that I did on Saturday night. These students were from Illinois. They came up to Wisconsin to party. It was a lot of fun. And I got a lot of questions and comments under that video on YouTube. I thought it might be worthwhile just to do a Q&A video addressing some of them. So let's get started. The first comment is in regards to the mystery request that I got on Saturday night. I didn't have what they were looking for. They kept coming up and asking for something called Johnny Deep. Like, is it a song? Is it an artist? What is this? Did not have it. Had no idea what it was. And Alan Jackson, not the Alan Jackson, but a Alan Jackson says, nice job. If it's recent, I'm guessing Johnny Deep, Jonny Deep, and the song is La Ganta Esta Muy Loca. Mid 2020, good party tune. I looked it up, and it's a remix of Sak Noel's Loca People. As soon as I saw La Ganta Esta Muy Loca, I thought it was probably that track. And if you don't know Sak Noel's Loca People, check it out. It's probably from, 10 or 12 years ago. And it's a great song. It's very funny, too. It's got to be what it is. And what's going on with Chicago is, if you're not from there, it's a very unique market for music because they have a very strong radio market. House music started there. They have like college stations, and even their mainstream stations do like big mix shows on the weekends. And they're playing some stuff that would be considered deep club or deep house anywhere else. And some of the stuff never leaves Chicago, oddly enough. It just stays there. I live 80 miles from downtown Chicago, and most of the stuff that's big there never hits 80 miles away. And it's just because their radio market's so strong and we don't get their stations up here. We kind of have a crappy radio market in Milwaukee, always have, but Chicago's is incredibly strong. So when it comes to dance music and club music and house music, they're usually pretty sophisticated, and you got to be ready for that. But it's a cool song, and I will try to grab it. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I'd like to have it. It's a pretty good remix of that. Zendi Garrido. Hi. Great video as usual. I noticed something through the years. Every 3 or 4 years, Tiesto always drops a major trance, big room, house, or in this case, a house track, which just destroys dance floors. Am I the only one who noticed? For me, where I live in Milwaukee, the last time Tiesto made any noise was probably with I Will Be Here, and it was the Wolfgang Gartner remix, and that's probably from 2008. So in my world, Tiesto isn't something I play very often. But the business I did play at this event, I've been hearing the song like every 20 minutes on Sirius XM's BPM station. And it's definitely not my favorite song, but it's popular and it did incredibly well. It was requested and I played it at this event. And I was surprised it did so well because, well, normally I'm playing for more local crowds, I guess, and that kind of stuff doesn't usually cross over. But I don't know, Tiesto's The Business, the new track from Tiesto, or the newest track from Tiesto, might be the big crossover song. Let's see, Jesse Sanchez. Did the Evolve 50s do well once the dance floor was filled? Nice gig log. I need to get some hot Bollywood tracks. Well, I did play some Bollywood at this event. And I'm glad that I had some Bollywood because I was given no direction when I came in to do this event. They didn't give me one song they wanted to hear. So there was really no prep that I could do for it except just show up and jam tunes. And once I got there, it was a very diverse crowd. I mean, they were from everywhere. They were from India, they were from Nepal, they were from South Africa, they were from Chile, they were from all over the place. And I did my best. And I was fortunate enough to have some tracks that would work well in that region, whether it be Punjabi stuff or Bhangra or whatever, even some Bollywood, from previous gigs that I've done that I know are bangers. And I played them and they worked incredibly well. I think if a DJ would have walked into this cold and not known that that would have been something that would have been well received at this event, or actually needed at this event, it might have been a problem. So I'm glad I was there to take care of them. But as far as the Evolve 50s go, they did fine. And what I like about the Evolve 50s is you don't get a lot of echo with that array, those little full range 3.5-inch speakers or whatever they are do really well in difficult rooms acoustically. And this is a very difficult room, this big dome ceiling at the Rotunda. So anyway, somebody else asked, great party, didn't the echo kill the bass? If I had more bass, it would have bounced all over the place and like enhanced the bass. If anything, rooms made of marble enhance bass to the point where it's just booming, you can't hear anything else. The 12-inch speakers on the 50s were probably ideal for that because it wasn't too much, but it gave some bass. If I had more bass, it probably would have been overwhelming in there because it was very bassy. Say, hello Brian, thanks for all your videos. I've replaced my entire sound system due to your recommendations. No pressure. Hope he likes the stuff. Purchase of all 50s, 30Ms, and set of Maui 5 Go's. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of stuff that you buy on my recommendations. I mean, who am I, right? I'm just a DJ. I must say what a difference in sound and lighting. Much easier. Oh, he bought Ape Labs too. Sound and lighting much easier to set up and operate. Sound system is amazing. A lot of other DJs do not like the column arrays. Personal preference, I guess. Yeah, it's all personal preference when it comes to DJ gear. And I think DJs are a unique bunch anyway. We are a unique personality type. And most of us fiercely defend our purchases. I can't tell you how many comments I get from people saying things like, oh, I bought the new Behringer, and they're the best, they're great, they're fantastic. Well, I think most of us know that it's probably not that great and fantastic. There's other things out there that are better, but if you don't know any better, you think they are, and yeah, you're going to fiercely defend your purchases one way or the other. But use what works for you, always use what works for you, and all I do is tell you what works for me. I'm not being paid by anybody to tell you anything. I'm telling you exactly how I feel about stuff. If I don't like something, I don't use it. I'm disabled. I got to make it as easy as possible for me. I use what I think is the best stuff. That's my artistry. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, I'm just using what works for me. If you see it on a gig, I like it and I'm using it. Let's see. We're close to age. Started DJing in 80 this record collection. I wanted to ask you about your controller and table. I noticed you don't have a large controller. What type is it? Sleeves Facade from Odyssey, thinking about the ADJ table like you have. One thing stopping me is not having a shelf below for wireless to hide my power strips. What are your thoughts? Well, okay, so I use the Pioneer DJM 450. It's just a small little 10-inch battle mixer, but it's like a baby Nexus. It's got a great sound card in it. And being, the guy with one arm, I'm not all about having this 2-deck controller to emulate 2 turntables. I've learned in my brain to go ahead and just work internally with the programs and use a mouse. And then I'm using the mixing board to basically EQ my channels and adjust my volumes. So most everything I'm doing is actually internal with a mouse when I'm gigging. That's just how I work now. It just works best for me. But you always need to just use what's best for you. Whatever that happens to be, use that. But I'm happy with what I have. And it works for what I want to do. And the other thing I will say is he said that a lot of DJs don't like the column arrays. Well, a lot of DJs don't like my mixer, don't like me working internally, don't like my haircut. I don't really care what any other DJ out there thinks of my setup. What I care about is what my clients think of it and my end result and my sound objectives. That's the most important thing. Not what a collective of DJs in some Facebook group think. I don't care about them. And you shouldn't either. Don't worry about those people. But always listen to people you trust. Always, always, always. Do not worry about the peanut gallery of DJs because most of them are just fanboys of gear anyway. When it comes to selecting your stuff, use what works best for you. As far as my table goes, that ADJ Pro Vin table, I love it for the height. I love it for the setup time. For me, it sets up easier than a collapsible banquet table would if I had to scrim it. Even getting down on the floor and stuff, I don't have to do that as much with the Pro Vin table. Puts me at a height of, I think it's 35 inches, just shy of 36 inches. Plus my mixer on top of that, I'm not bending over, which I did a lot, when I'm using a banquet table, a dress banquet table, and just putting my stuff on top. I didn't realize I was doing it until I got the Pro Vin table. It's like, wow, I'm standing up straight all night. And then I had to work on a banquet table. I was slouching, and I thought, wow, this sucks. This is causing me a lot of fatigue and discomfort. If I could stand up straight all night, then I'm going to have more energy for my performance. I'm going to feel better when it's over, and I'm going to feel better to pack up and load back into the truck. So that alone, I feel like, is very valuable. Now, if you're worried about where to put your microphones, I understand that. If you've got a system, use that system, whatever it happens to be. But I'm sure there's a workaround for you. That height itself is just perfect. And you got 24 inches of depth, 4 feet in length, which is all I need with a little battle mixer that I'm using. I don't need this big, long anything to stack stuff up. I built a custom laptop stand, and I had my son-in-law powder coat that recently. I was going to share that with you, but I just haven't had a chance yet, but I'll show you that stuff. That's kind of fun. Dark DJ asks, why didn't you play short snippets of the songs like you used to? The quick answer to that one is because YouTube's gotten very funny about flagging tracks. You try to make them really short, but they still do. They get you for copyright. So I've redone the way that I've done the gig logs for like 13, 14 years now. I just started doing them different. And people like it. I give you more of a breakdown over it. I show you the dancing. If you listen really close, you could probably hear the tracks. But I don't need to get flagged. I don't need to get penalized for what I do here. So, yeah, that's why I don't do it like that anymore. I would love to play the tracks and share them with you. But, that's why I gave kind of the hot music breakdown thing at the end of the video. I mentioned Megan Thee Stallion Body. I played that at my last gig, too. The first time I'd ever played it. It went over incredibly well. Did very well with this audience as well. And then, like I said, the Business track by Tiesto did very well. I played the radio edit of it. Didn't go long version or anything. And I don't know, I may have done well with that Johnny Deep track if I would have had it. Which brings us to our next group of questions or I guess statements. Rafael Santiago says, it's called Deep End John Summit. I don't think so. I got like 4 or 5 requests for something called Johnny Deep. So, I mean, that might be a great tune. I'm not familiar with it. But what I can tell you is that I'm pretty confident it was deep. It was the Me Entiesta Muy Loca track, which is the Sac Noel remix. Another one, could the song be Johnny B by Downlow? I don't think so. Big Night Out Discos. Okay, I see the word discos. I know they're British because nobody in North America or probably most of Europe would refer to their mobile DJ business as a disco. So this is a UK thing, I'm pretty confident, or Ireland. Brian, how on earth does an event like this, with that number of people, go ahead with the current COVID restrictions in place? No face masks anywhere, or have they now been removed? De-restricted. Yeah, some places have. Where I live, the state of Wisconsin, it's a little different because every municipality has different rules. The state doesn't mandate anything that's meaningful. Only the municipality enforces it. So it's very confusing to know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. Which is why the college students from Illinois came to Wisconsin. Because we are a lot less restrictive in Waukesha County, which is where this event was being held, which is the next county over from Milwaukee, than they are in Illinois. They can't have parties there. So they came up here to have the party because we don't have those rules. Now, I will say this. When it comes to wearing masks and social distancing and all that stuff, regardless of what the rules are, I am not going to police this stuff. I'm going to be cooperative and do whatever the hall or venue wants me to do. If they want me to sign a COVID waiver, I'll sign it. If they want me to wear a mask, I'll wear it. I got vaccinated. I was done with my vaccinations in early April, fully vaccinated. And we're to the point where I live where anyone can get a vaccination. If they want it, they can get it. So if somebody goes out unvaccinated without a mask on and catches COVID, as far as I'm concerned, this is no longer my problem. I've done what I was supposed to do. I followed the rules. I made a lot of personal sacrifices, financially, emotionally, for myself and my family. Back to work now. Great. Things are happening now. Everything's looking up. But I've done my part, including being fully vaccinated. So, yeah, if somebody catches COVID at one of my events because they didn't follow the rules and they didn't do what they were supposed to do, that's a them problem now. I can't worry about them. I've done my part for over a year, and I'm safe, so I ain't worried about it. That's where my feelings are on that. And I'm sorry if you don't like that, but that's where I'm at. Let's see here. Brian, why not put the Johnny Depp song on one of their cell phones and played it from there? Ask for a friend. That's Lou Primo. Look, I'm speaking from experience, Lou. This is a bad idea. I want to say, and this is going to sound funny just initially, that when you do that, you lose control. And you may interpret that as the DJ's ego to play songs that they have and not play songs they don't have. That could be it, but what is probably more accurate is when you start letting the audience play songs on their phone, you're not really DJing anymore. They're taking the lead. Now, my party was incredibly successful. Everyone had a wonderful time with what I played. I would say that probably 60% of their requests went over incredibly well. I filled a lot of space with just common sense and my programming skills, and it was an incredible party. Their requests probably occupied, I would guess, about 20 to 30% of the event. I did the rest, just building around those requests. I didn't need this Johnny Depp song. I didn't know it, I didn't have it, but I didn't need it. But when you start letting people play songs off of their cell phones, you allow that's even a thing, then they all want to play their songs, and you have no quality control over the bitrate of the song, over the content of the song, over the version of the song. You can't mix the thing. You completely lose control of the situation in every way. It makes you look like a chump because you don't have what it takes in your library to rock the party. But no, I would never. In YouTube videos, the quality of that stuff's terrible. You don't know the quality of what's going on with their phone. You can't adjust levels. It's a nightmare. Don't do it. Trust me. Lou, don't do this. If you want to make any money at this or you want to be a legitimate DJ, do not do this. Be prepared. Stay in control. That's all I got to say about that. That's it. Those are some of the comments. There was a lot of praise. I want to just thank you guys for watching. And if I said anything in this video that was helpful or insightful or whatever, or you liked it, let me know in the comment section. If I said something you didn't like, let me know. I don't really care. I can take criticism. But maybe I'll do this from now on. Maybe I'll come in here on Monday and just check out the comments from the gig log and the questions and see if your question actually makes it, or your comment makes it to my video. But I want to thank you for all the positive praises and things as well, because there was tons of those. You can go back and look at those comments if you want to. But anyway, that's it. Kind of a different video for Monday. I thought I'd give it a try, see how you guys liked it. And if you like it, we'll do more. We'll see you soon. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Practice and enjoy.